heart of the home. Live your perfect, imperfect life to the fullest, like Giaci does. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me. It is truly wonderful to be able to speak with you today. Whether you're a parent, a caregiver, a grandparent, a professional in the field, or someone passionate about supporting individuals with autism, we stand united by our love and dedication to loved ones and our passion to making a difference in the autism community. Your presence here signifies a commitment to a shared journey, and it honestly means so much to me. My name is RITA MICELI, and my greatest joy in life is that of being a mother to 4 beautiful children. I've also been married for over 31 years to an incredible man who is the love of my life. I'm a lifelong educator and a longtime advocate for autism awareness. I'm the author of Giaci and Me, a mother's journey of loving and raising an autistic child. So now that you know a little bit about me, today I want to share our story of love, resilience, community, and most of all, of empowerment. It is a personal journey my family and I have experienced with my son, Giaci. It is a story that many of you might find familiar. Our journey may be uniquely ours, but within its pages, you will discover universal guideposts for your own path or that of someone you know. How it all began for us. Life unfolded in the same way it does for most people, I assume, with an added cultural piece. As the daughter of Italian immigrants, I was expected to follow a path, pursue an education, get married, and have children. Always making my parents proud and reassuring them that the choices they made to leave their homeland to pursue a better life for themselves and their children was the right choice. And so things evolved in that manner until I found myself feeling lost, a range of emotions, and I felt so very alone. After having had 4 children within 3.5 years, and yes, my last ones were twins, so that's why they were so close in age, I remember feeling such despair, fear and anxiety, coupled with an overwhelming feeling of confusion and uncertainty. My husband was working all the time, and I was just so alone with 4 babies. I remember sitting on the edge of my bed, nursing the twins at the same time while the other 2 surrounded me. My oldest daughter talked to me about her sisters, while her brother Giaci ran in circles, squealing and flapping his hands. This image is so vivid in my mind because it was then that the alarm in the pit of my stomach blared in my head. My body felt the echo that bolted through my limbs, paralyzing me in place. I'll never forget that moment. It was in that moment when I realized that something was not right. Over the years, I have heard countless parents recount the exact moment when they knew something didn't feel right. It is that moment when you realize that life will never be the same or what you thought it was going to be. I remember being stuck in my head, and the thoughts that ran through my head were all scary and negative. What is wrong with my son? Why does he do this? Will he ever talk? What will our future look like? The average person has 60,000 thoughts per day, and the average is that 80% of those thoughts are negative. Scientists call this the negativity bias. We inherited it from our caveman ancestors who had to remember the negative thoughts or they would die. Well, part of me felt like that, like part of me was dying inside. I'd reached a breaking point. At that point, I had already gone to medical professionals without getting any answers about my son, and then on to a psychologist who wasn't frank and clear. And at some point, I realized on my own, after looking at a DSM, that my son was autistic. I couldn't even say it out loud. It just remained in my head. Then I remember I went into autopilot. I looked into my children's eyes and they guided me, because what we focus on the longest becomes the strongest. And I kept reminding myself of that. Rather than focus on what Giaci could not do, I began journaling and wrote down everything he could do. Soon I was journaling my own thoughts, feelings, and progress. Even though this helped me a lot, I still felt lost and in despair. Googling on the internet doesn't help with all the chatter in my head. When you Google autism, there's over 14 million search results, and that made me even more confused. It did not bring me to any resolve. It made my anxiety go higher. But it did bring me to an autism community. And I remember contacting our local autism chapter. The number stayed in my head for a little while until I had the courage to call. And sure enough, I finally did. The one day that I did call, I remember thinking, hopefully no one will pick up, because then I could live in a state of uncertainty, because that was where I adjusted to. The future was too scary. But someone did answer the phone, and it was another mother. Little by little, I built the courage to share more and more with her. And soon I found comfort with her words. I didn't feel judged because she was another mother going through the same thing. I felt listened to and understood. And this was the beginning of my relationship with the autism community. It felt like I was being welcomed into a new family. I may have taken baby steps in the beginning, but once I got comfortable, there was so much pride in my strides. Empowerment is finding community and support. So finding this community was a turning point for me, because it helped me to find resources, support, and a sense of belonging. All of this made me feel stronger day by day, instead of the confused person I had become, the scared and retrieved. I was so lonely and felt so alone. I was starting to come out of that. Meeting other parents who understood our journey brought me immense relief. We shared tears, laughter, and stories. And the connection, like I said, gave me strength. And I think the same for them. We realized that we weren't alone. And I think that's the most important thing, is to know when you're on this journey that you are not alone. Reaching out, as scary as it is, will bring you so much, like I had experienced. It's about creating a more inclusive and understanding society. I also learned about advocating within this community by uniting with other mothers in class action lawsuits when the government wasn't giving our autistic children what was needed. We supported each other and drew strength from each other. Sometimes we often joked that we felt like Wonder Woman on a mission. I also learned about my own superpowers, like networking with professionals and other families, fostering collaboration and creating positive change. I learned that I had the ability and strength to change the narrative from the what if to the no matter what. No matter what, I will not be alone. I will not be ashamed. I will not live in denial or anger. I will not be embarrassed. And I will not feel helpless. Instead, I will cherish every victory, no matter how small. I will continue to see blessings around me on a daily basis and cherish every moment of it. I will cherish whatever my son is ready to give me, whether that be a word here and there, or a smile, or even a big hug. So finding the autism community really helped me get there. Networking and connecting with others. Another community that opened my eyes to the importance of networking is an online community. The fear of the unknown future, which once paralyzed me, is felt globally, all over the world. Every parent, caregiver, grandparent has the fear of, when I'm no longer here, what will happen to my child? This is a genuine worry for all of us, and I really saw this on my son's TikTok account. Let me tell you how this happened. So at the beginning of COVID, my daughters started an art activity. They videotaped them with their brother and they posted it on TikTok. Before long, we couldn't believe how the response kept increasing. We got more and more followers. More of the comments were, we want to see more videos of Giaci interacting with his sisters and how he lived as an adult. My son is now 29 years old. And before long on TikTok, he reached over 600,000 followers. People from all over the world, from Ireland, from Europe, from England, and all parts of the US, all wanted to know, and of Canada. They all wanted to know more about how we got to where we were. They loved seeing the interaction and the love and the connection. Moms reached out what they saw and wanted to see, continue seeing, and millions of views continued to pour in on how his sisters, my son's sisters, adored him, the incredible sibling relationship, and how he lived as an adult. I connected with strangers from one end of the world to another who shared a commonality with me and my family. We all did not want to feel alone in our journey. We wanted to feel that connection. We wanted to feel that support. We wanted to be understood and heard. That's my message today about connecting. And I hope I have connected with you, because we all have much to do to reach far and wide together. Remember that it doesn't end with us. It will continue from one generation to another. As we know, autism is genetic and the numbers continue to grow. So our message, my message of resilience and love and helping each other, this message of being connected needs to be heard loud and clear. Autism is a bridge that connects us all. It is a shared experience that brings us together. My final message is that if you've been inspired by my words today, I invite you to pick up a copy of my book, Giaci and Me, to dive deeper into these ideas and to feel what it felt like and to understand what it felt like to go through a journey like this. Remember that at the beginning of my autism journey, it seemed like an insurmountable mountain, and acceptance felt like uncharted territories that were unknown to me. But the thing about mountains is that they are meant to be climbed, and uncharted territories are meant to be explored and learned about. The story of Giaci and Me is not just mine. It belongs to every parent who has a neurodivergent child. My hope is that if this helps even one other person, then it's achieved its purpose. Giaci and Me is a testament to the fact that with perseverance, support, community, and a family bond of unconditional love, any obstacle can be overcome. Of course, the star of the story is Giaci, the center of our family, the core of my everything, and the king, as we call him. He shines brightly and doesn't even realize to what extent his radiance touches the hearts of those around him. Even though my son is unable to express himself with words, he teaches lessons every day. He teaches us all lessons every day about life and having an appreciation for life's simple pleasures. In Giaci's world, the most important thing is not material possessions or status, but rather the simple joys that life has to offer. He teaches us to find happiness in every little thing, like devouring a big bag of chips or eating lots of Nonna's lasagna. By living like Giaci, we can learn to appreciate life's small pleasures and find fulfillment in the present moment. That is empowering. Thank you all for listening. Let's continue to support and uplift each other. And together, we can make a difference. But most importantly, remember to live your perfect, imperfect life to the fullest, like Giaci does. Thank you.